Okay, y'all, time to color. I'm in Daydreams again. This is by Hanna Karlzon. There's the ISBN, and we are just going to jump right into this. I was doing this in front of the TV, and I thought, oh, I need to do a video. So I thought you might like to see how I do my sunflowers. So I do have my CastleArts pencils out, and I think that is going to be good because I want you to still be able to reference a part of that over there. So, alrighty, CastleArts. I have done the cadmium yellow deep in 75 as just a base around the outside, and per usual I do a pretty heavy layer here, and then I get lighter and lighter as I come down. Then my next color, and if you are coloring along, just push pause at any time and then jump back in. No big deal there. Then Terracotta Light. This is number 11. This is more like a yellow ochre or Turner's yellow. I believe that's a paint color though. Yeah, because I was a painter first. But anyway, now I'm going ahead and doing in that V a little darker. But then I'm going to come up and overlap. And that's the reason we went light for a little bit, was so that as we overlap, those colors are more apt to do some blending. Just go ahead and overlap up into there. It's all going to be good and fine. And then a little heavier as we're coming down in. All right, then we're going to go over to the next petal and we'll do the exact same thing. Laying that color in, overlapping. And I'm going to do 2 or 3 petals and then move on into the flower some more. Now, you see where this one is over the top of this one. So I am putting the color there. I'm going to go one more shade right there though too. Okay. And you'll see that in a minute. So as I get deeper here, I'm going to use a little bit lighter touch here. I don't want to put so much color in that area that I can't add more to it. Okay, and you'll see that here in a bit. Then let's come over and do this flower. So through the mid. And then crossing into what was done before. All right, then I'm going to go to my next color just so that you can see what I'm doing here. So then I'm going to come in with my burnt sienna, which is number 114, and I'm going to come down in here. Start coming up and blending. I'm not going to go all the way because I can still add one more color down there. Okay, now I can come down in there, but see how light I kept it in comparison to this. Okay, now this one is on top of this one. So I'm going to go a little darker right here at the edge and then blend up and in. Always a light touch to blend into that prior color. And I could go a little darker right here just to allude to a shadow from this top little piece. All right, then the next one. See, we're going darker there. Then we're going to blend, 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 blend. And then as I get here, remember I said this one was on top? So I'm going to take this color and just tuck it under there. Scooch, haven't used that word in a while. Scooch some of that color in there. And then blend it out. Next one, same thing. Get some of that color in there under the edge of that. And if you will research sunflower images on your Google or whatever search engine you use, you are going to come up with many, many different varieties, different colors. They range in a white, yeah, there's actually a white type of sunflower, all the way to your reds, burgundy, yeah. Okay, so the next color I'm going to pull up is going to be brown ochre. And this is number 115, 115. These are not the Gold Series pencils. I could not afford those. These are just their regulars. But I like them. I really do. I've gotten to where I really like the smoothness, the creaminess. They do remind me of an oil pencil, even though they are not. See, I tucked right in that V, and that gives that little ripple. So I can come right up here and come right here, just on the edges, and that makes that look like that ruffle is actually in that petal. All right, so take advantage of those little lines in there. On the other flower, I came back and did all those little lines last. Okay, then after I've finished all of that part, I came back in with that very first color, that cadmium yellow deep, and I just started at the tip and blended everything. This is going to turn those browns just a little bit more yellowy, which is what I wanted for the variety of flower I was doing. And you see I'm turning that pencil a little bit. That helps wear down that point evenly. Well, I hope everybody is prepping for a Good Friday and Easter. It's actually the Sunday prior. I am not nearly ahead on my videos as I used to be. Just life. Everything's okay. It's just been life. So it's when I started coloring this flower, I was like, oh, I do need some videos. So good timing on getting some of these in the queue. So yeah, it's actually Sunday evening right now. And you will see this on Wednesday morning, I believe. Just getting all that blended. And you can see the difference between this and this. So just that little bit of blending, just coming in and getting that color in there, pushing the tooth down in the paper, getting rid of the white areas. There's probably, well, I won't say always, but a lot of times you're going to end up with a little bit of that white peeking through the image, and that's just the tooth of the paper. two of the papers like a mountain, and it's got the hills and valleys in your paper. Okay, so hills and valleys, and it snows across the top. Then when it snows again, it goes a little further down. Snows again, it goes even further down. Same thing with your coloring. There are little divots in your paper, and that first time, you're hitting all the top layer. Second time, it's going a little further down, and a little further, and a little further, until you've got the whole thing covered. So kind of think about that as you're coloring. Now, in these next sections, I'm going to be doing these top ones. And I did do, yes, I did the whole thing, but then I only did a good solid base on the top 2/3. I don't want to cut it in half. I want to do 2/3. It will look a lot more natural. I'm going to my second shade, which was 11, Terracotta Light. And then that is going to be just down here on the bottom. I just wanted these to be lighter. And as I come up in, see, it comes a little further, but if I'd gone just halfway, then it would have gone even further up. So that's why I did the 2/3. All right, so you would do that all over. Then we're going to look at the picture and we're going to say, where's our light source? So far, we have done a light source where everything peeking out is just a little darker, okay, under the edges. We haven't done like just one side or just the other. So when I look at these, I can see all of these sections here, but these seem to be in the back. So that's what I'm going to do here. I am going to take and I'm going to grab, remember that brown we used? The one that we used up here in the very edges, the darkest one? Okay, brown ochre, number 115. I'm going to put that over here. I'm just going to do, you can probably barely see this. I'm doing a light coat. And again, pull up image photos if you're wanting yours to be more like life. I didn't pull any up because my sister had a birthday in March and I took her sunflowers. So I'm just using what I remember from that to color this image. My next brown I'm picking up is Dyke Brown, number 69. Is that right? Yes. See, I'm looking upside down. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start here and color. You see how I'm going in a C shape? All right, so I'm following that curve. All the way to the edges. Now I'm going to put that back and I'm going to come in with Burnt Umber, number 68. And again, you can use any browns. These are just the ones I grabbed. See, now I'm doing a smaller C shape. Overlapping. You want that bit of overlap. And what that's doing is pushing this to the back and lifting this up to the front. All right, I'm going to do a little bit more of that because I think what I pulled last to use is black. Yep, Ivory Black, number 71. And I'm going to use that just right here. That's just going to push that all the way down. Now, another thing I could have done this area here light and then gotten darker around, and then just in the back. It's just what I chose. There's not a right or wrong. It's just the way I picked it. Now, you know what color I went back to? 115 brown ochre. I went back to my lightest shade, and now I'm going to finish putting this color in and blending. And you go as dark or as light as you want. Yeah. But if you're doing a picture and you don't know what something is, start doing references, start doing searches. You're part of a coloring group, lay 2 or 3 pencils across the page pointing to what you're in question on. Take a photo, post it, tell everybody what book it's from, and see if anybody can help you figure out what it is and what color it's supposed to be. Not that we always have to do the right colors, I'm just saying. And then also, as you're pointing to what you have question on, see, you would use your pencils and point to what you're questioning. You want to tell the book so that those that are out there that have that book could go ahead and look it up. Plus, you're giving that artist credit for the artwork, and that's always a big plus. Okay? So that is basically it. How are we time-wise? Oh, we've got lots of good time. Okay, let's just head over and do the center on this flower. We're going to blow that puppy up. Hope it stays in focus, and we're going to go again. So this time, these are the ones I see in full, and these are the ones I'm seeing in the back. Now, do you see this yellow? Okay, so let's do that real quick so that we don't accidentally color it the color of the center of the flower. I just went back to those 2 colors, those first 2. All right. There we go. So we got those done. Now we're going to come in again, just like we did before, with the brown ochre. I'm going to do a cross in my little C shape. Okay, next color, 69, Dyke Brown. And don't think that the names of one brand of colors is necessarily going to be the same for all brands. So if I use yellow ochre in one brand, and now I'm going to burnt umber, and then I go to yellow ochre in another brand, it doesn't mean those brands are going to be the same shades. It just means they shared the same name. That's all. Then I'm going to black. So, like, not all reds are the same. Not all purples are the same. Not all yellows are the same. So just because I read one name doesn't mean you can go to another brand of pencil. I'm going back to that first one, the brown ochre, and I'm going to blend. Doesn't mean that you can go to any brand and pull that name and it work. Because there is a, for instance, paint. If I go use folk art and get one color, and then I find that same name over in Americana or in, why has my brain just left my head? I used to paint all the time. Anyway, yeah, totally lost me. But anyway, you can't go between brands and expect the colors to be the same. It just doesn't work that way. That's how paint companies all get you to buy their brands of paints. Because once you've gotten that brand and that color, you can't just get that brand or that color in another brand. It'll be different, totally. Okay, so there is that. Do you want to see how I do the dragonfly? Would that be something we should come back and do? There is a really cute dragonfly up here. Should we do that? Okay, well, come back then in a few days. I think I post again on Saturday, and we will work on this little dragonfly together. All right? Okay, until then, have a good one. Happy Good Friday. I know we're not there yet, but it's coming. And I will see you in a few days. All right. Thanks for sticking around. Bye.